What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. I am spending it alone because my family is 1,000 miles away. Obviously, I'll be calling them later, but today I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm not making a turkey and all the feast and whatnot because it's just me. So I've started cutting up this backstrap, and then I thought, oh, I should probably film this. And so basically today I'm just gonna show you guys how I prepare backstraps. Today I'm just gonna do steaks, I think, just for one, but obviously you can multiply it and do it for as many people as you need. This is a backstrap from Brittany's buck that she shot and was nice enough to share it with me since I was not able to save any meat from my deer, which I'm still really bummed out about, but it is what it is. So thankfully she was nice enough to do that. And so I already started a little bit, but like I said, I was like, oh, I should film this. So I'm gonna share it with you guys. And I'm kind of gonna just show you how I cut it up as well. Simply because anybody out there that is new to hunting or doesn't really know, this might be helpful for you. So this might be, I might turn this into an unprofessional opinion vlog. I don't even know what episode I'm on, but I know I need to do one of those anyway, so let's get started. Okay, so like I said, I'm cutting this into steaks, but first what I want to do is get rid of all of the little like pieces that I'm not going to eat. Some people may not care, but I am very picky about my meat. I don't like a lot of fat on it, which venison doesn't have a lot of fat, but fat, little extra pieces of skin, stuff like that. I like to get it off. Some people may like it. The biggest thing is the silver skin. Which is, at least that's what I call it. I don't even know if that's the official term, but I call it silver skin because it's like silvery, shiny, and super tough. Like, I think it's honestly more of like a tendon than actual skin, but yeah, anyway, I like to cut that off. But what I find to be the best way to cut it off is if you take your knife and either keep it completely parallel, you know, between the meat and the silver skin. That way you're not wasting any meat, and it honestly just comes off super easy. Or sometimes if it's giving you a hard time, I just cut directly onto this because it's really tough. Like, you could kind of puncture it and it's still gonna hold together pretty well. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's tough stuff. So anyway, I like to just kind of cut directly into it to reduce any meat waste. And I'm picky about this, so it might take me a minute. And by no means am I a butcher. I'm not some expert on cuts of meat and everything. Like, I know a few like cuts from the grocery store, but as far as like when I cut my own deer up, I don't like necessarily do it in any particular cut. I just cut whatever I feel like is the best for whatever is happening. So just following the muscle groups, basically. I like to do a lot of roasts, and so sometimes I don't like have a rhyme or reason to how I cut. I just cut whatever like portions that I'm wanting. Which this is very... We're gonna try to... So if you stay in line and essentially cut kind of towards the silver skin, see how the meat just peels off pretty nice. Also, I recommend using a sharper knife. This is just one I pulled out of the drawer, so it's probably not the best knife to be using, but it's working pretty good. There we go. Honestly, the main reason I'm so fussy about it is, you know, I don't really have an issue with like little pieces and stuff, but a lot of this is just like fat, and so fat typically holds a lot of flavor, and this may honestly surprise a lot of you, but I'm not the biggest fan of deer meat. I wasn't raised on it, and that's only because, I mean, yeah, trust me, I shot deer my whole life, but growing up, there was this man that my dad was really good friends with who had a heart condition, and his doctor recommended that he only eat very lean meats, so venison, elk, stuff like that. So we would always give our deer to him every year, and so I never really ate it a whole lot. Like, we would do summer sausage and jerky, but as far as like making meals out of venison, it just wasn't a thing. So I grew up on beef, and the flavor, I'm sure a lot of you are gonna give me crap for this, but it is gamey to me. And so you know, over the years and stuff, now that I'm on my own and have been shooting deer, I obviously want to consume it, so I kind of suck it up, and there's certain ways that I prepare it that it's not so like wild game tasting to me, and I do actually like it. Like, I honestly eat it all the time now, but it was a little bit of an adjustment because I'm used to beef. So all right, honestly, I think it looks pretty good. Most of the little random pieces are off, maybe. I mean, there's just like fine skin, but I'm not too worried about that. So, all right, looks pretty good. So now I'm just going to cut it into medallions. I guess there's a little skin here, but I would say the like ideal medallion thickness is probably about an inch thick, maybe an inch and a half, just because you don't want it too thick or too thin, or it won't cook properly and thoroughly the whole way through. So I'm gonna do mine about an inch. Just cut straight down. A little bit of extra here. So about like that. Try to keep them even. It also helps to keep everything very uniform, because when you're like, if you're marinating your steaks, you want them to all be equally marinated. So they need to be the same thickness. All right, looks good to me. Excited. I love steaks. So good. All right, so there's the meat, and I'll be back with how I marinate it with, I don't even know if I have everything that I need, but we're gonna wing it, so. All right, so I wasn't necessarily planning on cooking anything specific today, so I'm very unprepared as far as ingredients. Just kind of found some stuff that was sitting around that I would use, but at the end of this video, I will tell you, or make a list maybe in the description of what ingredients I typically use. to marinate my steaks. Honestly, we're just winging it, so we'll see. And like I said, I wasn't even planning on filming this, so I'm just not prepared at all, so it's fine. We'll get through this together. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna soak it in some apple cider vinegar for a little while. I don't have regular vinegar, but that is a way to get rid of the gamey taste. If you guys happen to think that venison or any kind of meat is gamey, vinegar is the way to kind of dilute that, get rid of it, at least for the most part. So I will probably soak it in that for maybe an hour or two. And then what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of olive oil, some garlic salt, just actual minced garlic, lots and lots of soy sauce. I love soy sauce and it just gives it the main flavor. And then when I cook it, I'm just gonna use some steak seasoning, and yeah, that's kind of all I have at the moment in my kitchen. So I've gotta work with what you got. So let's see how this turns out. All right, so I had them in a food saver bag. I'm just gonna put them right back in there. Also, a trick that I do is I always wash the meat off with water to begin. It just kind of helps drain the blood, which is just one more thing that holds the flavor. I know this sounds so bad, I'm trying to get rid of the flavor, but I really just, I like it to taste a little more like beef, a little less gamey. Okay, so we're just gonna do this. I don't really know how much I want to use. If I squeeze it tight, I think that would be good. Okay. Also, I'm the kind of person that cooks to taste, so I'm not really great at giving out measurements. Kind of just wing it a lot of times, and it usually turns out pretty good. Okay, so I'm not gonna like vacuum seal this or anything. Actually, I probably could. Yeah, maybe I will. Probably be the best thing, truthfully. I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna get a little clip thing, make sure this stays upright in the fridge, and let it sit for probably about 2 hours, and then we will come back to this. Okay, so it's been actually a little more than 2 hours like I wanted, but we're gonna dump out all the vinegar. It actually turned the meat a pretty dark color, so it's soaked in pretty good. We're gonna rinse it with cold water. Now that we cleaned out all the vinegar, let's do the solids first. So do a little bit of garlic salt. Probably just sprinkle it in this cup. Like I said, I kind of do to taste, so I'm not really sure what's a good amount. So on that side, do a little on the back. Don't want too much salt. We can always add seasoning. You know, once I start cooking. Onion powder. kind of work it in a little bit. Once I put the liquids in, it'll kind of even out, but you can see. All right, so it's kind of a pain. All I had were these soy sauce packets. So we're gonna attempt to do this. I don't even know how to like open these, tear in the middle. Just gonna hope it doesn't run out. It's already looking like it wants to. Also, soy sauce is really salty on just on its own. So if you want it to be less salty, you can either use less soy sauce, or if you like that flavor, just don't use any of the salts or anything. I might not even need all these. That actually already looks pretty good. All right, I'll probably do maybe one more. Just to make sure it all gets soaked in and completely covered. Looks pretty good, I think. Okay, now the last step for marinade, I'm gonna do just a little bit of olive oil, and I think this kind of just dilutes the tang of the soy sauce. Just make sure it kind of mixes it. Mixes pretty good. It smells good. I'm excited to try it. Never made it, like this before. I usually have teriyaki or Worcestershire sauce. That makes it pretty good too. All right, so that's looking pretty good, I would say. Pack it down. Looks like a pretty good marinade. So now I'm gonna clip this back together. This way. Okay. Now it is 2:30, so I'm probably gonna let this sit until whenever I get hungry. Honestly, dinner time. So probably 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that. And yeah, we'll come back and look at it and cook it up, see how it tastes. All right, y'all, I also forgot that I put the minced garlic back in the fridge. So I'm gonna do like a tablespoon or so of this. I don't feel the need to show you guys, so just add some minced garlic. Okay, so I just woke up from a nap. I work at night, so I needed it. But anyway, it's about, what time is it? Almost 6 o'clock, so I'm kind of hungry. And yeah, let's see how these steaks turned out. All right, so we're just gonna do them on the stove. Obviously a grill or smoking them would be better. Okay, so I don't know if all these, smells pretty good. I don't know if they'll all fit, but we're gonna see. Just lay them flat. And call me crazy, but I like my meat to be a little bit more done. More of a medium well kind of girl. I know a lot of people like their meat not so done, but I grew up raising livestock and I let's just say parasites are a real thing. So to me, I want the meat cooked completely through. Obviously not so that it's, you know, not tough, but done. Okay. Okay, so that's all of them. Okay. So, since it's so dark, it might be hard to tell when to flip it, but what I do is I continuously flip. I mean, like every, I would say probably 45 seconds or so. You want to keep flipping it because that will just keep allowing it to cook evenly on both sides, and so that it's not, you know, gonna get real dark on one side and be raw on the other side. So and you want to start with a lower heat, but then you kind of want to work your way up a little bit as you go. So I would say about 3-ish minutes in, I will crank up the heat. But again, it's kind of to taste, so we'll see. I might add a little bit of pepper. A little pepper. And then my steak seasoning. Use whatever kind you like, obviously. I'm not going to do a lot of that because I feel like there's a lot of salt in it. Yeah. I'm more of a pepper fan than. I don't usually salt my stuff. Like, this is probably the most I've ever salted anything, but like I said, I don't like that gamey taste. So anything to kind of neutralize that. So there's a bug. All right. Might turn this up just a tad. All right, so we'll get her cooking and go from there. All right, so we got a little bit of a simmer going, so I'm gonna flip these. So the goal is to not overcook the meat, but also you want to get rid of all this juice, because then you can brown your stuff a little bit on the outside. But I think I might dump some of this because there's a little much. And then turn this down just a touch to like 4. This is already getting a little bit of a crisp, crusty outside. Don't want that quite yet. Also, my pan's uneven, so we're gonna kind of shimmy them to the corner. Okay. Looking good. Alright, so being out in Missouri, I get made fun of a lot for being from Pennsylvania, just inside jokes, but in the north, we like to add a little bit of sugar to a lot of different foods. Not always healthy, but who's trying to be healthy on Thanksgiving? So I'm going to add, if I can, I hope I get a spoon, I guess, but a little bit of brown sugar to sweeten it up and kind of get rid of that vinegar, that strong vinegar taste. I was making a mess. Let's get a spoon. Of course I say it's from the north, but maybe it's just my house. Alright, just a little bit for each. I think it looks pretty dang good. Alright, so I'm gonna do some Alfredo noodles for the side. just because I want something more than just steak. And then also, that's good because then if I have leftover steak, which I definitely will, I can throw it in the pasta. And yes, I let my noodles in the water when my water is trying to boil, because then that just allows them to be in there and soften up before it even starts boiling. You just have to stir them so they don't stick to the bottom, and then I add a little bit of salt to kind of do this, like speed up the process a little bit. These are looking so good. Okay, might dump the juice again. They're starting to brown pretty good. And then I'm gonna check the inside, cut it, make sure it's not too tough. I think it's looking good. Cut the heat back to low, as low as you can, just to kind of. Okay. Alright, I don't have a legit knife, so we're just gonna have to use this one. Also, don't cut on your good pans. I'm just doing this to show you guys. You can scratch your pans. Oh, yep, a little bit of pink on the inside, so it's looking pretty good. I might actually pull these, because I think they're done. Looking good, okay. Steaks are done. Mix this a little bit. All right, final result in a minute. All right, so moment of truth, see if it tastes good. Pretty unconventional way of cooking steaks, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. It is a little tough, but like I said, I like mine done a little more anyway, so I don't mind it. Anyone that doesn't want it as done, just don't cook it as long. Okay, here we go, first bite. Get a little Alfredo in there. Pretty good. And honestly, the gaminess really isn't there. There's a little bit, like a little tint I can taste, but totally good. Really good. All right, well, I'm not gonna make you guys sit and watch me eat. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, checking in, and happy Thanksgiving, even though it's probably over when you guys are watching this, because it's like 6 o'clock right now anyway. So I just hope you guys got to spend time with your families and friends and loved ones and whatever else. But I'm alone this year, which is okay, but made some good food, so I really can't complain. So all right, thanks guys.